There you go. There you go, folks. Hello there. Hello, gang, and welcome to another Workbench Live on a Wednesday for the wonderful guys. Oh, it's down there this week. eModels.co.uk.
You one-stop shop for all your model making needs. I don't know what that was.
Come on, Bennett. That was a bit of a tumbleweed moment there, wasn't it? Yes, folks.
I appear to have fell into a jingle without realising it.
Yes, folks. We are doing the Baneblades, and we're doing it on the bigly screens this week.
It is the Baneblade.
Said last week that there was going to be a difference, and yeah, I've had a play this week, and hopefully you can see a bit of bigliness now. So there you go. So I was just about to do my intro then. So yes, the wonderful guys at eModels, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. Links for these Baneblades are in the description below the video, folks. Yes. So if you want to grab one and build along with us, that's where you find it. In the chat, we have got Athol McNichol says, wow, that's Steph first in tonight. Hello, guys. What do you want? Oh, and Colin, to answer your question from last time, Steph's old boiler went kaput, so I was nearish. She's living here until it is fixed. Yeah, I've got a kaput old boiler as well, mate, but we won't go into that.
Shh, you always get yourself in trouble.
Don't you go trying to insinuate what I meant there, sir, would I have?
I incinerated nothing. I've got video.
Absolutely. We've got Jackie in from Jacqueline Crocier even saying hello, and how are you both? And she says, we're watching on the big screen. Oh, are you now?
On the big screen.
Are you now? So yeah, we are doing
screen of bigliness.
We are doing the Baneblades of goodness today, folks. So don't forget in the chat, if you want to interact with us, type questions in throughout, and we're going to endeavour to get Fox to answer them. Stefan last is in, says good evening, peeps. Hello, Stefan. And don't forget, folks, belly, bench and beverage. What is in the belly? What is on your bench? And what is your beverage of choice?
Yes.
Hello, Fox. How are you, mate? How you been doing?
I'm not too bad, buddy. A little bit warm today, but not as bad as it was the last couple of weeks. Holy moly.
Oh, yeah, certainly, yeah.
Yeah, may have to put my fan on in a bit, so people in the chat, let me know if my fan noise suddenly kicks in and gets annoying.
Absolutely.
But yes, I'm not doing too bad. Don't forget, of course, as this is a show for eModels, and you can come and join the live chat, but if you do, please keep it family-friendly in chat.
Yes.
And please make sure to not discuss other model retailers, because that's not very nice. It's an eModels show. You can talk all you want about, like, Tesco's or, I don't know, DPD or
Absolutely.
Adidas or something, but please don't discuss other model retailers. And don't forget, of course, if you're watching it embedded in Facebook or Twitter, you can click on the little YouTube icon to join the live chat on YouTube.
Absolutely. So how are you? How's Mum?
I'm doing all right. Mum Wolf is doing okay. She's sat downstairs with an illegal packet of crisps.
Oh, stealth crisps.
I just can't refuse her when she says, "Can I have a packet of crisps?" I'm like, "No, go on, no, go on."
Absolutely. We got Lee Eagles in saying hello. Hello, Lee. As
Lee.
is Marcus saying good evening. Evening, Marcus. The lovely
evening.
Marcy is in Scale Model News with some hugs for me. Hello, Marcy.
Hello, Marcy. I never get hugs.
Retro is in, says hi, kids. As is Graham McRobert saying hi to Muse. Hello, Graham. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, hello, hello. I never get hugs from Muse. You get hugs from Muse. I never
Oh, Whippлекins.
Do you know? All the work I put in, I never get hugs from Muse.
Oh, mate.
Hi, Muse. Big hugs to you, Muse. I'll give you hugs anyway, even though you don't give me any. I'm just trying to find me. Where's my little tray now? All right, I'll live. I'll fight through it. That's not big enough. I'll fight through it.
Oh, Lamekins.
I joke, of course. I need my little... Where's my little... Oh, gosh darn it. There it is. But yes, I'm doing all right. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine and dandlio, mate.
Dandelion.
Absolutely. Marcy's belly bench and beverage. She hasn't eaten yet. She's doing her Invisible Man dio. And she is, of course, having coffee. And she's off to work shortly. There you go.
I can imagine the Invisible Man will be a very easy diorama to make. It's just a diorama.
Yeah. Where is it? He's over there. Can't you see him?
I saw a photograph once of it was Wonder Woman's Invisible Fighter Jet Lego set, and it was basically Wonder Woman floating about a foot above a desk.
Oh, really?
That was it, little Lego Wonder Woman and just nothing. And the box art, it was a spoof, but the box art was like the Lego box art with some clouds and nothing on the box art. Invisible Fighter Jet.
Oh, brilliant.
There you go. And you says, "Foxy, you soppy liar." I'll make that of it. I don't know why it's hidden it, but
Yeah. Bless her. Italian porkies is the Muse.
I never lie. Anyway, how are you, Cole?
I'm all right, mate. I'm fine and dandy-o, mate. Nice and, I would say nice and chilled. It's a bit warm. Hopefully me fans ain't too loud. If you can let me know, folks. And also let us know whether audio and video is coming through okay.
Yes. I mean, I can't hear Colin's fans because we've both got earpieces, so we can't tell if each other's fans are particularly loud or not.
Yeah.
So you guys have to let us know. I might put mine on in a minute because it's just really warm.
Yeah, it's just I've got a desk fan on the go as well because it is a bit warm in here because the hot water's on ready for when my dearest comes home. And yeah, so the boiler kicks in and it's like, nuclear temperature. There you go. See, and I'm just doing a shadow triangle now in the opposite direction within some of the triangles. Get what I mean?
Ooh.
So,
That sounds quite spy thriller. Shadow triangle.
Shadow triangle.
So what's your process for tonight then? Apart from doing that, is that what you're going to be doing all night? What are you?
I'm doing the shadow triangles because if you remember last week, I did a very subtle stripe down the middle.
You're not allowed to use the word subtle.
See, and yeah, so yeah,
that stripe's so subtle I can't see it.
Yeah, we got the camo going on. I just now want to go round and put my second colour of grey in. So
second breakfast.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm up to. What are you up to, mate?
Today I will be, if you remember last week, I gave everything an all-over Agrax Earthshade wash, or a sort of Agrax Earthshade wash.
Yeah.
Because we're not using airbrushes, I couldn't do any pre-shading.
No.
So what I need to do now is go back with the relevant base colours and start doing, post-shading to start bringing back the light parts of panels. So they're not just all dark, like for here I'll do inside this bit here, lighter, so that the edges where the rivets and things are will be darker, but the centre of panels will be lighter. So for the sand colours, which was Sundry Dust, I'm going to go back and do some Sundry Dust, and then for the other panels I'll do some Skaven Black Dinge, and then I might do another colour on top of that just to get some. I want to reproduce the airbrush highlighting, pre-shading, but as post-shading. Yeah, it's a very long and slow and laborious process, and it can be quite boring. But if you're doing a live stream with a mate, or you've got a podcast to listen to, it can be fun. Yeah. And I'm just doing little tiny circular motions with a base brush. The base brushes are great for actual dry brushing because they're really small. They don't last very long as good base brushes, but they're brilliant for dry brushing.
Yeah, mine lasted about 2 hours, but then I am very heavy-handed.
Oh, no, they don't last very long at all as actual good brushes, but because they go all floofy, but they're perfect for small dry brushing. So I've got loads of them just for this purpose alone.
Yeah, I must admit, I must get some more. Stefan Last says, Festa, I'm your fan, but I'm not very good. Oh,
as long as you're adoring, that's all that matters.
Oh, shucks.
You've gone all puce now, haven't you?
I have. I've got all gooey now.
I don't know why I said puce.
I'm just a big, soft, fluffy panda. That's all I am.
Yeah.
There you go. So let's have a bit of that going on there. Send it across.
Now, I do expect to be pulling my hair out by the end of this process because Baneblades are so big and there's so much of this to do. It does get a bit mind-numbing. So if you're doing this on your own Baneblade, what I'm doing, do it in stages. Don't do it all in one go like I'm going to have to do. I don't know if it'll come out on camera, but the initial amount of paint I've done, you'll see on that side there, that's what the dirty pan looks like.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I thought you was talking to me. Yeah.
No, do it for the audience. So that's what the dirty pan looks like. That's just the Xandri dust with a couple of coats of Agrax Earthshade. Now I've done my first little dry brush of Xandri dust, very lightly and very thinly in tiny circles. It just makes the centre a bit brighter and makes those rivets now pop because they're darker and they've got the outlines. So I need to do that on every single panel and then go back in with another lighter colour to even more focus towards the centre of panels and things like that. So it's just reproducing that pre-shading that you get on a vehicle where you do the dark shadows around the rivets. Yeah. I'm doing it the way around. It's good fun, but it's very tedious.
Yeah. Is it one of those instant regret moments, is it?
A little bit, but then when you finished it, you think, I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know what you're like, but I'm one of those artists that I love the end result, but I hate the process. This kind of thing. For a lot of the things we do for models, it can be like, I hate the actual process, but the end result makes me feel it was worth it in the end.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is the end result that makes the difference.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I become an artist.
Everybody's an artist. You're an artist. If you're creating something that doesn't exist, that's being an artist.
I know.
If you're painting or drawing, I know. If you're painting or drawing or writing music.
Go. Subtle. Oh, I just said subtle.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Graham says, have you used Zero's paint? And if so, any good and much smell to them? They are good, but they really, really smell.
Are they lacquers?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they're automotive paint lacquers, aren't they?
Yeah. They really do smell, Graham, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You want a spray booth and a respirator for those.
Yeah, they really are, mate. Even I struggle with them, mate, and I know you would, mate.
Yeah, there's no reason not to use a respi with those. I shall take a wonderful photograph to show what this effect looks like for the people with the eyes of looking. Let me just...
Absolutely. Jeff Light is in, saying hello, everyone.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. Love to you and Maggie, mate. Hope you're both doing well.
I know I haven't got ready. Just in case.
Yeah, I've not seen them in yet, but...
No, but you said the name Jeff, so...
He also said about the Zeros, they can be very hot paint as well. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they really are. You don't slather it on because, your model will end up...
Melt well,
yeah. It'll just be a heap of molten mess.
Molten mess.
I've seen it before. People slather on a lacquer varnish and that, and it's like, bye-bye decals.
I read an article once, many, many years ago, in the days when people had like blogs, and that was all they had, because nobody had a website in the early days of the internet. And this guy had spent about, I don't know, he had a massive model of the original series Enterprise.
Yeah.
And it was one that he'd either been given to paint. It was a proper display model, like a museum piece. It wasn't like a model kit.
Yeah.
but it wasn't one of the original filming models. And he'd done this amazing paint job on it, and it took him like about 3 years to do all this paint job, just researching and everything else. And about 4 years later, he started to note all this weirdness happening with the paint, all different colours like appearing and swirls and marks. He'd mixed various layers of acrylics and lacquers and enamels because he didn't understand. And he'd used all different colours to get like the palette. He'd like done base colours of blues and greens to do various things. And because like the lacquers had eaten into the acrylics and the enamels had bled through, ruined it.
Yeah.
Absolutely ruined it. And he's like, I learnt the hard way. And it took about 4 years.
Absolutely. Bobbins is in. Good evening, Woosters, he says. Yes.
Look at the wobularity.
Athol says, our bellies tonight were filled with a mixture of salad and fried rice from last night, washed down with chocolate milk. Kaiser's had a big bowl of dog food in bin of St. Bernard. There you go. Oh, big old dog. Big woofer.
Ooh, milkshake. Chocolate flavoured milk. Right.
Everyone said hello to Bobbins.
Oh, hello, Bobbins. Hello.
Hopefully you're all right, mate. Keeping well. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's nice to see Bobbins in.
Yeah.
You're
nice to have a
Bobbin.
break in. It's nice to have a break in the weather, so I'm not like dying of sweatiness and hot at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing a bit of filming today.
Yeah, I've got filming on the books tomorrow.
Been doing the build up to my brum brum noises that are going to be ensuing tomorrow. Well, overnight actually. I'm going to be doing big brum brum noises.
Oh yeah.
Because I am a child.
Nothing wrong with that. You want to talk about your big brum brum?
I didn't know whether I could because, different thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you can do.
I'm going to be filming Eleanor. Because, yes, so...
Not the lady.
No, it's the big 1/8 die-cast part work. So I'm going to be filming that tonight. And that should be up on my channel overnight. So keep an eye out for it. Ring the bell to get a notification and you'll see as soon as it comes up.
Yes.
I thought, well... Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, what's your plan with the tank, your big tank?
Waiting for me paint order to come through. I've ordered a couple of paints. A lot of it already had in the inventory, so I didn't order that much.
I can imagine the paint is, I don't need a lot of paints, I just need a lot of the paints that I need.
Yeah. So
can you send me 12 litres of this and that?
Yeah. Can I have 12 litres of olive drab, please? So, like I say, once me paint arrives, then I shall start filming. So, yeah.
Cool. Can't wait to start seeing that.
So that's the next big eModels build. I'm just in the throes of editing the Dakar bike, so I'll get that series up on their channel. And then once that's run for a month, I'll then start uploading the Bigley tank.
Bigley tank, do.
And that's going to be built over many, many months.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So a little bit of
it has
subtle,
that many parts.
Yeah, a little bit of subtle transition. Could you see the shadow grey?
Ooh, yeah.
It's just in there. Draw your eye in. You think there's something there, but I can't quite see what.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily leap out and say, I am here and this is what
Absolutely.
I am, but you're aware of it.
And that is, in case you're wondering, folks, a bit of Russ Grey is what I'm using.
Yay. I do like the Space Wolves colour combinations. Rust Grey, Fenrisian Grey, and the other one. I can't remember. Space Wolf. No, what's it called? Can't remember. The 3 really nice blue greys.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it is. It's behind me on my door of paint.
Rust Grey, Fenrisian Grey, and...
I've got Dark Reaper, the Fang.
The Fang, that's it.
The Fang is the darkest one I'm going to be using. Yep. Next up is going to be a tiny little bit of Dark Reaper, just along the bottom edges. And then the Fang will be a bit similar to a drop shadow in a few places. Lee says, is the 1/8 Jag on hold? No, it's not, mate. If you remember rightly, I said I'd be starting it round about August time, mate. So, yeah, that's going to be my winter build, mate.
Mm-hmm.
The Eleanor Mustang runs for 2 years, mate. So being a part work, it's going to be very few and far between. But
yeah, it'd be once a month, isn't it?
yeah, the 1/8 scale E-type is about August time because the 16th tank for eModels is a build for eModels, mate. So that'll be getting filmed in series over many months, maybe a year, who knows.
Many months, Mahoney.
But my winter build is going to be the 1/8 E-type because I want to get that done, and then I shall do the big GT40.
Ooh, GT40.
So, yeah. I've got me paint for the E-type. I've got a load of stuff that I've been doing on the printer.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly we'll do a right-hand drive dash conversion on it. So, yeah.
Your projects are getting bigly in your old age, aren't they?
They are. It's been sat there a while. Lee sent me the Jag through a while back. And, yeah, I've been wanting to build up to it. And as you know, this year's been a bit so far for me. And
yeah.
When I'm working on a big kit like that, I want to make sure that, you know, I've not got any issues going on that are going to detract from the quality of the work. So
yeah, you need, when it's something that big, you can't just slam in the lamp, can you? You've got to really make it
absolutely. It needs my undivided attention and everything to be functioning correctly. So,
yep, absolutely.
And it is a beast.
You're a beast.
You're made of beasts.
All your beasts are made of beasts. That doesn't work. You're ridiculous. Ha, I win.
Absolutely.
I think this dry brushing stage may take me approximately ever.
Yeah, you kind of, yeah.
I'm enjoying doing it, but...
Absolutely. Yes, there's now wrong with having an inner child. Absolutely, mate. I am made of inner child, mate. I'm useless.
Unfortunately for me and Festa, our inner child is our outer child.
Yeah, I just cannot grow up, mate. I can't take anything seriously, and I'm happy about that.
Who wants to grow up? It's rubbish.
Yeah, a lot of people go, oh, you know, grow up. And I'm like, why should I? I'm happy.
Yeah, why? I've had enough years being serious with rubbish jobs. Now I want to have some fun.
Absolutely. Evening, fellas, says Paul Christopher. Good evening, mate.
Hi, Paul.
Lee says there's a 1/8 R34 GTR from Too Fast, Too Furious. Oh, nice. So, yeah, I've got a nice big winter of big projects coming up this year, and I'm kind of looking forward to them. So
it's the winter of bigly things.
Absolutely, mate.
Yes. I've got a better picture I can take, which will illustrate it more, I think. Illustrate it betterly.
Yeah, but no, Eleanor's one of them. It came totally out the blue, and it's like...
Yes. Yeah. You were like, ooh.
Absolutely.
I was quite excited. I was very excited for you.
So, yeah, another collaboration there, hence why it's going to be jumping the queue a little bit, because I am filming it for Fan Home, so...
Yeah. Right, if I can stop taking pictures now, that'd be good.
There we go. Another one of those.
Falling off.
Oh, blimey, that's gone round there nice and quick. Oh, I might have the bulk of this done today. Oh.
Mm. David JM is in, says, evening, folks. Welcome, David.
Hello, David. Hello, mate. How you doing? Hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Jeff Light says, being an adult can be so boring.
It is, Jeff, isn't it, mate?
There is no point at which being an adult isn't boring.
Yeah. It's funny, someone at the golf club that Helen works at asked her how old her eldest child was, and she said 55.
Oh, yeah.
They looked at her, she went, yeah, that's my husband. You need to define child. If you mean in birth child, then obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Am I that? Yeah, she went.
Yes.
Don't even pause for breath. You are. I wouldn't have you any other way.
No. there's nothing wrong with being a dirty, great big man child. At the end of the day, if you're on this world once, if you can't have fun doing it, if you can't try and get fun out of something, everything you do, then you're doing it wrong.
Absolutely.
And if there's times when you need to be serious, well, you need to avoid those times.
Exactly. We've often been asked that you two take nothing seriously, and it's like, yeah, but the whole idea of this and the live streams we do is just to say you can have fun.
Yeah, take nothing seriously. Why should we take something seriously?
Yeah. I think the day that us two do a serious stream, people would actually think we're unwell.
Well, it'd be boring if nothing else. What would we talk about? Just nonsense.
Louis.
Well, that is serious, though. That's serious business. Did you see the clip that somebody posted up in the Broom Hut the other day?
No, it would have meant scrolling. It would have meant scrolling, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he posted it up and said, I think I'm starting to see why Fox recommends Bluey. You should watch it. It'll teach you exactly why you should watch Bluey. I don't do anything. There's no benefit to taking anything. I mean, obviously there's times in life when you need to be serious, but I have no interest in any of those. So they're utterly boring to me. Try and avoid them as much as possible.
I have done priming this week.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. What did you be prime?
Warlek.
Oh.
And Bluey.
Oh.
Told you I'd be priming this week.
Yeah, you did.
It was done overnight.
I superglued the arm on my driver figure for the Bluey car, just so it looks like he's resting his arm on the door.
Oh, good man.
I'll have to. The only thing I can do, because his arms don't reach the steering wheel, because it's Calypso and she's only got little arms. So what I might do is I might just somehow make myself a little paper like road map and have it in the other hand, so it looks like he's parked up looking at a road map.
Yeah. Uses off. She says, see you later. Oh, no worries, Marcy. You take care, darling.
Muse.
Thank you for coming in. Yeah, sorry, mate.
Thank you, Muse. Thank you for all your hugs. Oh, wait.
Are you still bitter?
I'm not. Like the Guinness, I'm not bitter.
Oh, show us on the dolly where the horrible Marcy ignored you.
I jest, of course. No, I try very hard to not take anything seriously.
Yeah.
Because what's the point?
Exactly.
I could actually do this with a much bigger brush and it'd be a lot faster, but I would lose the smoothness I'm getting.
Yeah. You got to have fun, haven't you? Though I mean,
Yeah.
The real life can sometimes be a grind. So just having a chillax every now and then with your mates, just having a bit of banter.
I like to be silly when I do stuff if I can. Sometimes I'm serious, but sometimes, for a long time, I had this idea of having, like, the mascot of my channel be a puppet of some sort. I thought that'd be really cool to have like a puppet. This was before, Craftsman or anything like that. But then I looked at the actual cost of having a puppet made. And it was like, it's really expensive. A proper puppet, it's like, oh no. Like a stick and glove, no, it's just far too expensive.
Yeah, that's why we all have our character persona, don't we, for our channel at the end of the day, and because you got to be distinguishable between streaming personality and real life. You got to be able to switch off, haven't you? But sometimes me and you, we don't, do we? We're just as mad in real life as we are.
Yeah, I've got a sniffly nose. That's always true to life in my streams.
I mean, look at the chaos me, you and Tony caused at eModels.
Oh, God. Yeah. Getting me, Colin and Tony in the same small area at the same time.
James looked like he had aged a dozen years, didn't he?
Well, they're trying to do all the picking and packing and we're just running up and down, like, looking at all the stuff on the shelves and being idiots.
We was telling the customers that anything they got was free. Pete was like...
Yeah, if you spend £10 on a cup of tea, you get a free model of any value,
Yeah. It was like, don't say that. It's too late, we just have. Mrs. Pete, mate, just gave us the look.
Oh, yeah. It's like, we love you, but also at the same time, please don't. Please just stop. Now, I'm not sure which bits of this heavy bolster, this coaxial gun, will be like sand coloured, so I'm just going to quickly dry brush it. So at least it's got a basic colour on it. On some of these bits, I'm being quite rough and ready with the dry brush. I'm even doing a wet brush just because I know they're going to look battered and worn later, so I can get a bit scratchy in there now.
Old D. Tomazzo's in, saying good afternoon.
Hey,
Good afternoon, Paul. Love to you and Dawn, mate.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to the channel.
Hopefully you're doing all right, mate.
Mm-hmm. Boop, 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 boop. Now, this barrel's going to be tricky because it's a tube.
You're made of tubes.
Dry brushing, yes. Well, technically, we all are. Dry brushing a tube is quite tricky. I may have to go for a bigger brush on this.
Jeff Light asks who Tony is. Tony is one of the eModels builders, mate. Helgum 3.5. And yeah, he's as mad as a box of frogs, but a really, really lovely fella, mate.
Yeah, you haven't seen him for a long time because his career in real life sort of took over, family and stuff. But he's still a mate. He's a mate of ours. So.
Yeah, one of the original eModels build team is Tony, and yeah, a lovely bloke. Look him up on YouTube under Helgum 3.5. Yeah,
it was Tony that did the build of the Rossi bike and the.
Yeah, it's Tony who got me back into the hobby.
Yeah.
So it's all his fault, folks, that you've got to put up with me. So send all your complaints to helgum35@geocities.com.
It was Tony that got me to buy a load of military rations thinking I'd get a load of packets of Screech, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I still don't know what Screech tastes like or what effect it has. Apparently Screech is legendary amongst the British Army.
Got to know Tony through the adventures of Haroldite the Wonder Horse.
Haroldite the
Wonder Horse.
Oh, yeah, Haroldite. They never did finish filming that.
No.
It's never been released to them. We make these jokes and yet nobody actually knows what we're talking about.
No, that's back in the day, wasn't it? Yeah. Honestly, he had nightmares about that damned horse, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I just took over his life.
Yep, just a smidge.
But yeah, absolutely lovely fella. He really is, Tony.
Oh,
honestly, you couldn't meet a nicer chap.
No, he really is like we like to pretend about being man-children every now and then, but he really is just a man-child. Takes nothing seriously.
He takes man-child to a whole new level, doesn't he?
And he looks like Robert Llewellyn, which is great. I've actually got a picture of Robert. I've got a picture on my hard drive. And sometimes I forget, is it actually a picture of Tony or is it a picture of Robert Llewellyn? I can never quite remember which one it is.
Yeah, it is uncanny, isn't it?
I'm like, hang on, is that?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember where I got it from. And I'm like, hang on, which one is that? Is that him or him?
But yeah, Tony's work is on the eModels channel. If you scroll down to where the bikes are, you'll see the Valentino Rossi build. You'll see the Chieftain tank build in the Arbor section. So Tony's work is on eModels' channel, mate.
Yeah. Exactly.
And yeah.
It's such a slow process.
Certainly is, mate, but how therapeutic.
Now, I would say to people, if I'm doing this dry brush post shading effect, right? If you've got an airbrush, okay, then it's much easier and less hassle to do this with an airbrush as pre-shading.
Yeah.
But the only reason I'm doing this as post shading with all the dry brushing in the world that takes forever is purely because it's not really feasible for me to airbrush spray on a live stream because my spray booth would be just there and you wouldn't hear me.
Yeah.
And I'd spend 2 hours just with a mask on and you wouldn't. So it's not really feasible for me to do airbrushing like that on a live stream. But plus a lot of people don't have an airbrush. So
Absolutely.
If you've not got an airbrush. So I thought I'd show it this way. You can use a bigger brush and it'll be a bit faster, but you might not get quite the subtle effect. Like I can really work my way into little nooks and crannies slowly to build it up.
Yeah.
Like you might see here, I don't know if I'll come on camera, but it's a little bit brighter here now, but it starts to get darker towards inside those bits there. And it's just, it depends what kind of level of control you want. I might go for a slightly bigger brush in a second just to speed up the barrel, because speed up the
your barrels. Speed up your barrels
of guns. See what I did there?
I did. You notice, though, we was prompt straight away there, mate.
Exactly. You know how it works.
Absolutely, mate.
Now, I'm not being particularly neat or fastidious with this. There's a little bit of texture to the paint where it's been a bit rough. And that's fine, because at the end of the day, this is a massive tank and it's probably lots of, like, really roughly cast metal. But at the same time, of course, there's lots of weathering to come later, which, as always, will blend things away and hide mistakes. And any little rough patches where the blends aren't that smooth, it'll blend all that together. So don't worry too much if you're doing this and it's not looking beautiful like an airbrush, because it's not an airbrush.
No, that's right. And that's what you've got to tell yourselves, folks. Because we all do it. You get to that point, you think, and yeah, it's not looking great, but just bear in mind you've got your weathering to do, and it will conceal another lot.
Yeah, there's so much stuff to come yet. So this is still technically just base colours. This isn't even weathering. This is just base colours, really.
Oh, you're picking up my base colours mantra now.
Base.
I saw what you did there. I saw what you did.
I don't know why I did what I did there, but I did there something.
You did a bit of beatbox. Beef box? What's beef box? You know
Beef,
what I mean?
that's not on eModels channel, dear. Family friendly.
Post it. I can do this.
As Einstein once said, he might have done. You don't know he didn't. He might have done.
You never know.
I don't know, you never know. I'm painting all this, but I'm putting loads of like really careful dry brushing on this bit here, and I might paint that brass later on. I don't even know why I'm doing that.
Because you can.
Yes. Now, the other thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, or what Colin's doing on here, is all this little detail painting. You'll be handling the model all the time. And because these are acrylic paints, no matter what brand of acrylic paint you use, you will find that you'll rub paint off edges. Unintentionally, but sometimes you may find that, say you've got like a dark grey colour here, suddenly this edge might have the sand colour underneath sticking out, or the edge of rivets and things like that, because you're just handling the model. I don't really care about that, because it's going to have lots of chipping later, and it just adds to the weathering.
For me, it's actually made some nice effects already, so...
Yeah. So if you're doing a really beaten, weathered vehicle, it's sometimes actually a part of the weathering process is just handling the model and letting all the paint edges rub slightly and look chafed just through handling them. If you're doing a factory fresh one, then you don't want to do that. You might want to put a varnish coat down before you do anything that involves lots of handling. But I don't do factory fresh. If I do factory fresh, it's a really bad factory.
It's Friday fresh.
Yeah, full of Friday freshness.
Friday freshness.
With gas top.
I am literally going to end up seeing triangles forever, mate.
I'm just going to see little tiny circles everywhere. The trick to this is little tiny circular movements. If you do back and forth, that's picking up the edges, but little circles helps you make little blends.
You want it to sound like you've got a little hamster scurrying around in a cage.
Yeah. I tend to get the end of the brush and just do it round like that. I don't know if you can see it on camera. That's the way I like to do it, you see. And if it also helps, you'll see me occasionally. Sometimes if you want to get a nice smooth dry brush, get the last bit of paint off on the back of your hand like that. Because it just mushes the paint together and also gets any little dots of fibre that might have come off the kitchen roll out the brush and onto your hand.
Yeah.
Just helps smooth it all out.
Oh, nice one. Retro says he's attempting to 3D scan part of a dashboard so it can be mirrored and 3D printed. So far, it's a process in, yeah, that's what I do. I do all my right-hand drive dashes using photogrammetry, mate. And, yeah.
Mind you, with the rabbit, is that for a real car or for a model car? Because you never know with him.
Never know with him yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, but I'd like to say you then just do a full-blown mirror and rob Bob's one's uncle, so to speak.
Mirror. Mirror.
Mirror.
Who will buy this amazing magical mirror?
Yeah.
If you've not played Fable 2, you won't know what that means. There won't be any reference to you or any interest.
Yeah, this would mean I'd actually played something. Yeah. Dominic is in saying, good evening, Colin and Fox. Hello, Dom. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Dominic. Hello, buddy. Bonjour.
Hopefully you're keeping well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a bit of that going on there. And it's just beginning to subtly put the other triangles in. See that?
Ooh.
Just very subtle.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
You get what I mean?
Like,
it's there, but not there.
It's like, it reminds me of like a cartoon where there's a tiger, but as in the way cartoons have it, it's a blue tiger, not an orange tiger.
Absolutely. It's there, but not there. You know there's something additional there, but you're not sure what. So
yeah.
It's working for me, so.
Well, it's been 40 minutes so far, and I'm not even finished just doing the turret yet.
Happy days.
And this is the first of 4 stages, because I'll have 2 dry brush colours for each colour.
Yeah.
The base and the highlight, so lots of work to do on this yet.
Oh yeah, this is only the first layer of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably end up doing another one yet. We'll see. We'll see.
I fully expect that by the time I finish this dry brushing for the whole tank, you'll have moved on to the next project and be building something completely different.
I doubt it.
Because
I'm only on my second base colour. So yeah, it's a fair old bit to go yet.
Never underestimate how long it takes to do this crazy nonsense that I'm doing.
And I've got no weathering done yet. So another 2 colours to put down yet. And then it'll be a case then of going around and blending everything.
Another colour. Blend it. I can't think of a joke to make.
And the thing is once I start weathering, it'll probably hide some of these colours, but we know they're there.
Yeah, it's like all this careful dry brushing I'm doing. Once I start doing the weathering and stuff, excuse me, the actual contrast will drop. It'll become less contrasted.
Yeah.
And I have to get to the point where it looks brilliant to me, and then I have to realise it's going to go away.
Yeah.
Don't get too attached to it, because you're just making a foundation.
That's
Sometimes I'm tempted to go, you know what, it looks good enough, let's just do some chipping done. Bang, there you go.
Yeah.
And it would look all right, but I like to take it the next step.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? You just sit there and you think, okay, what can I do next? And
Mm-hmm. I never saw a subtle post-shading layer that I didn't want to completely obliterate and hide.
And that's the thing, when you start putting all your layers down, you're still handling the model. But if you do rub any of the paint off, it's instant weathering.
Yeah. And I say it's really good when you've got like multiple layers of colour and you just accidentally, unintentionally rub off one colour and it exposes the colour beneath.
Yeah.
Because then when you come to do your chipping, of course, you can, I don't know if you'll see it here, but like there's a grey stripe here and it carries on here, but I've actually rubbed the paint off that edge so you can see the sand colour on that edge.
Yeah.
Just like a sand coloured edge highlight. Which
exactly.
I can tweak later on. I can add different colour chips, or I can paint the detail back in if I wanted to. It gives you a nice foundation for what you would actually see in real life, where there's actual physical contact with things and it lightens and darkens. And
just gives you a bit of contrast, doesn't it?
Contrast, yeah. Now, don't forget, folks, we are desperate for things to talk about, and we often run out of things because we're too busy painting. We're sticking our tongues out here painting. So if you've got any questions, or if you've got stuff you want us to talk about, for the love of dog, please ask us questions in chat.
Absolutely.
Start conversations that we can kick off with, because, we need ideas for things to talk about. Otherwise, we'll just talk about the painting we're doing, and that can get quite boring after a while.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Mm-hmm. No politics, no religion, of course. Of course.
Goes without saying.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't, so you have to say it. There's always one in there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's always one. So, and no sport, because sport's boring and I don't understand it. Nobody cares about sport. I've decided.
Oh, Paul's got the joy of a root canal tomorrow. Oh, nice one.
Ooh, never had a root canal.
Yeah, I've got a tooth in the back at the bottom there that's about a third of what it once was, and it's like wobbly root time, and I'm petrified of the dentist, and yeah.
Is that the one that you've been constantly pulling out with pliers for the last 10 years and never succeeded?
Yeah. Yeah, and
I can't imagine why it's in that state after,
Yeah, it's just an annoyance in it, and I keep thinking I'll have another go at it, and then another chunk comes off, and it's like, yeah, I really should get it done. And
see, what amuses me vastly is because a lot of phobias are so illogical.
yes.
And that's a classic example that, your phobia is going to the dentist, which is quite understandable, why people are afraid of the dentist. But you have no qualms just grabbing it with a pair of pliers and trying to pull it out, which is immensely more painful than going to a dentist.
Yeah, but I'm in control of it. That's the difference.
That's the nature of phobias. They're so illogical.
Yeah. I'm in control of my pain, not them. So, yeah. It's, when they open a bit wider, it's like, look, my head isn't a hinge. There's no way I can get my jaw any further apart, and yeah, it's like, it is strange.
No way I can get my jaw further apart, not on what you're paying me. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Wait.
Family friendly.
Family friendly. Right, so that's... I don't know if it'll come on camera what that back bit looks like now. A little bit more faded and blended.
Yeah, it's looking good, mate.
It just leaves you with the sort of darker shadow around things like rivets and hinges and corners. The whole point is to leave the shadow and have everything else nice and clear. It's not necessarily realistic. It's not the way things work in real life. But neither's post-shade, pre-shading really. It's not really how things actually look. It's just exaggerating it to give it that three-dimensional look.
The key is, are you happy?
Oh yeah. Ooh.
That's the key.
Because there's nothing worse when you're presented with a model that somebody's put a lot of hard work into and they've got no contrast and no shading. It's just flat colours, and you're like, it's not interesting to the eye. It's not a question of realism. It's a question of
interest. You're trying to draw the viewer in.
Yeah.
Trying to give them something where they go, oh, is there something there? I'll look a bit closer. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I went out and painted a real tank NATO green, it would be just a flat uniform colour of NATO green. And that's how it would actually look in real life. But if I then made a model of that and just painted it flat NATO green, you'd be like, well, you've just sprayed it green and left it. What's all the weathering? Well, where's all the depth and the nothing, because it's miniature and you have to exaggerate it.
Yeah.
It's weird the way it works.
Jeff Wright says, do you guys still see Cy, the big Warhammer 40k that used to do stream? Yes, mate. Cy's been out the loop recently. He's been having a broadband upgrade. He's a patron of mine, and we chat every other day, mate. So, yeah, he's doing fine, mate. He's all good. He's got a baby on the way. He's moved, and, yeah, he's just getting all his broadband done. So, yeah. There you go. He's been in the chat a couple of times on the Frolic. So he's still about, mate.
You people with your big broadband numbers, I don't know.
Yeah.
So jealous.
Absolutely. So, yeah, he's still around. He's in the 24/7 as well, so.
I think a sneeze may be imminent. Hang on, I'm going to mute my microphone.
Yeah, no worries. So, yeah, Jeffy's still around, mate. I'll send your regards, mate, next time I speak to him. He sent me a big load of Warhammer that I'm going to be painting up soon with him, so...
The moment I turned the microphone off, my sneeze went away.
Oh, it didn't.
It went, oh, bye now, bye.
Yeah. Paul Spazzo says, I'd be happy if they just pulled what's left and give me a full set of implants. Eating with only the front half of your teeth is a pain. Yeah, I got a peanut caught in that one that's like got chunks of tooth missing, and yeah, instant Michael Flatley ensued. Yeah, it was like, yeah, I wish I'd done that.
I had to go to the dentist a couple of years ago, and it was the first time in about 15 years because I'd never gone to dentist. Like you, I didn't really like going, and I just not bothered. Yeah. And my teeth weren't in the best condition, but I was sat there one day, and one of the teeth at the back started hurting. And then basically in my row of teeth, it just kind of went and just started leaning and popping. I'm like, why is this teeth kind of erupting out of my entire jaw? What? Yeah. So I went to the dentist and went, yeah, we'll take that out. And then a week later, the one on the other side did the same.
I've only got 4 teeth missing. They're the big teeth. I had the wisdom teeth cut out, but the one filling I had is the tooth that's broke. I've not got any other fillings anywhere, so I've done well. You know, and they're all my own teeth. So, yeah. But it's ironic that the one tooth that had the filling is the one tooth that's shattered.
One tooth to rule them all. Yeah. I mean, I've got a couple of fillings, but I've only got 2 teeth missing. That's the ones I pulled out the other year. Yeah. My teeth aren't in great shape, you know, but...
I'm pretty lucky, you know. I've got a decent set of pearlies, but the front ones I've broke chunks off because I used to have a habit of opening beer bottles with me teeth.
That was a clever idea.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's various chunks missing off the front. They're about half the height that they once were, but that's my own fault. Other than that, you know, I've been pretty lucky, but considering the abuse I've given me teeth over the years, like I stripped wires with me teeth.
Oof.
You know, and so.
Yeah, I mean, I smoked for, 25 years, and that doesn't do your teeth any good.
The one thing I do that drives Helen nuts, and it's the one thing she really gets the ump with me, is I file my teeth. If I get if I get a chip, like on the front teeth, I get a fresh chip, I file it down so that it's smooth again. And she's like, how can you sit there and do that quite easily?
You're a Ferengi or a Klingon?
Yeah, and I just file them down because if your tongue hits that sharp bit, it can cut your tongue, can't it? So I'll just file it back down.
I'm sure it doesn't do your teeth any good.
No, it don't do your teeth any good, but it stops you cutting your tongue, doesn't it?
Oh, you're insane.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
Episode 35 of things Colin does that make no sense at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's like when I clean my fingernails with a scalpel, it drives you nuts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I really can't sit and watch you doing that. And it's like, what?
Stab. I learned a new way to cut yourself.
You
to
did?
Get stabbity. I did, and I never would have guessed this right. You know, like, I cut myself with tweezers and scissors and scalpels and stuff. The other day, I found something that's worse than a paper cut, believe it or not, and worse than a accidental knife stab.
Ooh.
And I was basically taking a pill out of a little tray of pills in the little foil thing. You pop them out. I was doing that, and the little bit of foil that popped up must have just like gone zip into my finger somehow. I don't know. It was only very thin foil. But because it was a foil, it was like ridiculously fine. Oh,
really?
And it's like right on my thumb where I put my, my joy when I'm playing on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, and it was like, wow, that really, really hurt because it was like, it was even finer than a scalpel blade.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, I've cut my thumb on the foil from a pill tray. It's ridiculous.
Paul's asking, in the UK, do you get free dental care? It's a mixture of both, mate. Most dentists now don't take on NHS customers or patients.
Yeah.
So for the likes of me that is on what's known as PIP, I can't afford private dentistry, mate. Hence why I do my own. Yeah.
I mean, I was lucky because I've when I was a kid, obviously we had an NHS dentist and stuff.
Yeah.
And for a few years when I was working, about 20 years ago, I paid for private dental care, which was like £9 a month 20 years ago. It was all right.
Yeah.
And that was like, you get free checkups and things and hygienists, but then you have to pay for stuff on top of that.
Yeah.
But I don't have a dentist now because I can't afford it. But during the lockdown, when I had my tooth erupting and it was horrible, basically dentists around here who don't really take, they do NHS patients, but they were kind of fully booked, all of them. They were all taking all the quotas. They said all of them said basically, we're not actually taking on any new NHS patients, but during the lockdown, we're obliged to take on emergency cases no matter who they are.
Yeah.
Because there's just no option for people. So
you was lucky.
All dentists during the lockdown had to take emergency cases, whether they were NHS or not.
Yeah.
So in a way, it was lucky that, like, for the first time in my entire life, this happened in the middle of a lockdown.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been hundreds and hundreds. And it basically cost me 35 quid per extraction.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, because if that was like normal times, I would have paid hundreds of pounds for that.
Yeah. When basically, I look at what my brother paid for his veneers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, you could get a small family car for it,
Yeah. I mean, long answer short is basically, yes, you can get dentistry on the NHS, but you'd be waiting for a hell of a long time for anything.
Yeah.
They're so underfunded that you'll be
there forever.
I mean, you can turn up at your local A&E with a horrible, dental emergency and they'll get you sorted out. But other than that, you can find a dentist who'll take you on. You might be waiting for a long time for stuff. So it's not ideal.
Yeah, it's a challenge now, isn't it? This is why so many people are resorting to the pliers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. It really isn't. You shouldn't. But sometimes you ain't got that choice, I'm afraid.
No. It's kind of the forgotten part of the health service, isn't it? Dentistry. It's the bit that doesn't really get the attention.
It's the biggest complaint people have in the UK is the cost of dental care.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is astronomical when you think of it.
Yeah.
And you think, especially if you have, say, you go to the hygienist, you might have to have antibiotics ready for an extraction. You're looking at sometimes 500-600 quid.
Mm. And that's the weird thing when it's this weird thing between, you're used to like all healthcare free at the point of whatever it's called. What's free at the point of whatever?
Free at the point of contact, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, go in hospital, get yourself treated, doesn't cost you a penny.
Yeah.
And you're used to that. You walk into A&E with a broken arm, they fix your broken arm. That's it, end of. But for dentistry, it's not quite the same. It's most hospitals will have some sort of dental service, but they'll be a minor part of the stuff they do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will just go private because they have no choice, because it's just faster. The GP service that we used to use, Mum and Wolf and I used to use before I moved myself because that GP was incompetent.
Yeah.
And also they were further away than one that's around the corner from me, who are lovely. Yeah. And in the end, I got Mum and Wolf moved as well because the place we were both at, they were just so incompetent. They had like so many patients that getting anything out of them took forever. Appointments took forever. Prescriptions were always wrong. There was always a problem. And in the end, I said, right, I'm going to move you to the same one I'm at, which is the one around the corner. And they've got like 6 patients and they're tiny and they're really nice. And they're around the corner and the pharmacist is like next door but one. So
yeah, I'm pretty lucky with mine. It's my GP, she really is good. And it's the local diabetes centre. The MS clinic is in there. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, because you need a GP that kicks your ass.
Yeah. And by Christ,
you need a GP.
Does she?
Yeah, you need a GP that puts you in your place and says, shut up.
Yeah.
And you need a GP that knows she talks to H.
Yeah, that's it, because Helen's my proxy anyway, so she deals with everything. They'll still say, is it okay? I'll go, yeah, she's my proxy at the end of the day. So
Yeah, I'm a child. Don't give me information. I can't do anything with
You
it.
shouldn't tell me about it. I would have forgotten as soon as you finished.
Yeah, if it's important information, tell H, and then she'll make sure it happens.
It's like anything. If I don't hear what they're saying because they're out of earshot, I zone out. I just switch off and just ignore them.
Yeah, Mama Wolf does that.
And the H will go, "You got that?" And I'm like, "What?" She said, "Yeah, I knew you'd zoned out. Just as well one of us is listening." I said, "I can barely hear them." So, you let them know you're hard of hearing, but they whisper, and it's like, "Yeah, I'm not." Because you do get fed up with Keith saying, "Pardon."
I can't hear you. Yeah, Mama Wolf does that, and I'm like, "You're at the doctor's for a reason." It's like, if you can't hear them, just say, "I didn't hear you," or just, it's just, I just zone out.
Yeah, but you get fed up with it because you tell them, and then minutes later they're doing it again. You're like, "Oh, really?" So I just zone out. It's like, yeah, I can't be doing with you now. And then, of course, H, a bit like you've done on eModels, she'll say blah, 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 and I go, "Huh? What?" She'll go, "Yeah, you switched off, didn't you, dear?" Yeah.
You remember that kind of conversation we had? Huh?
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, all right then."
Okay. I don't know. Men. Right, well, that's one coat. Oh, no, I've not finished the turret yet. I'm going to have to use a slightly bigger brush for that. But I'm not doing under there because you don't see that. But that's one coat.
Do you not see
that?
I
don't see that. I see what we did there. That's one initial dry brush. That's just the Xandri dust. Next, I need to do the Skaven Black Dinny, but we'll do that after the Xandri dust.
Nice one.
I'll just get myself a slightly bigger brush for the barrel. And then I'll do another bit. It's going to take me weeks just to do this step, isn't it?
I know.
It's worth it, though.
Yeah, but it's one of them, innit? It makes or breaks the paint job. Take your time.
Absolutely. Do-do-do-biddy-biddy-do.
Right.
I shall have a swig of water because I'm thirsty.
Yeah,
How's yours coming? Oh, my thumb hurts.
I shall have a swig of tea shortly. It's coming along all right, mate. It's getting there.
Right. I shall step away for one moment.
Yeah, no worries.
I shall return back in a second.
Yeah, no worries. Kevin Stevens is in. I can confirm Pilfoil cuts are worse. Absolutely, mate. He says, "Get hammer drill onto it, Cole." Hi, Dominic. He says, "Asleep at last, but we're having fun, buddy." Happy days, mate. Happy days. Yeah, I once cut myself on some clamshell packaging, and that smarted a tad. That was a bit of a river dance round the kitchen when I done that. That's lethal, that stuff. I've been relatively lucky with the pill foil. I haven't caught myself with that yet. You watch now, when I do my pills later, I'll end up cutting myself. Let's give that brush a clean because it's looking a bit gungy now. So let's just put the lid on me paint because, yeah, we don't want to knock that over. Paul says, "Been on disability, we get basic coverage, cleaning, pulling of teeth, fillings and root canals. Everything else we have to pay for." Yeah, it's over here. It's, you'll go to a dentist and they got the big sign on the door window, take in NHS patients. And that's it. So you'll end up going around looking for a dentist. And normally the ones that will take NHS are the ones that everyone else avoids, mate. Because their idea of dentistry is a blunderbuss, and it's like, yeah. So, yeah, it's the Del Boy Trotter of dentistry, and no one goes there, and you turn up, they go, "Yeah, we can do it." You think, "Yeah, I've scored." And then half your jaw's lying on the floor, and it's like, "Yeah, that went well for me." So you got to be really, really, really careful, but I will go. It's just I've got to build up to it. Jeff says, "Tut tut, cutting corners, Fox, but you did base coat the underside of the turret." Yes, he did. I am impressed. I spent an hour today looking for all the additional guns and everything for this build. But I thought, I can't find them anywhere. I put them down somewhere, and I had a look in the box and all round me Greebles box. That all came out. took the turret off just before we went live, and what sat inside? All the bits I was looking for. Yeah. So don't be like Festa. Right, let's have a looky-loo at grabbing a bit of Fang. A nice dark one. I was thinking of putting a black in a few places, but I've got a feeling it might be a bit too dark. So I'm going to try a little bit of Fang just in a couple of areas, not in too many. And then probably put a bit of thin down Agrax over the striped areas just to knock that back a tad. And see how we're beginning to look, because, yeah, not too much that I want to go mad on, because I don't want to detract even from what I'm doing. Right, let's have a think. Where do we want to put a Fang? Let's try one. Oh, he says going for a really obscure bit. Yeah, okay. Let's just go in and do it, Carl. There you go. One just there. And come up underneath. Let's see what I think of that. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. I'd mind that. Not many. I don't want to do what I've just done where every triangle's got a reverse in it. I want to do the odd one, the odd two, just... That's what's in my head anyway. So let's see whether I can darken that one. I've just randomised some of the ones that I've just put in with a darker colour over the top, so that when I chip it, it should expose the lighter colour. See what I mean? Just subtle. Yeah. Athol says, question for the guys in here tonight. Anyone heard of the Ickle test, and what does it consist of? No. Doesn't ring a bell to me, mate. Anyone else? As long as it's family friendly, Atom. But no, I've got no idea, mate. I probably will once you tell me, but...
And I'm back.
He is back. There you go.
There we go. Right, what was I in the middle of? Oh, yes. Did I miss anything?
No, Atol's asked a question about what is the Ickle test.
The Ickle test?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
There you go. Someone else who's not heard of it.
Never heard of that. I mean, Ickle means small, so...
Lee says, how long do the paints last without use? Ages, mate. Just shake them up.
Years.
If they need a little bit of a boost, just put a little tiny drop of X20A in them and give them another shake, mate.
Yeah, I had pots of paint that I had a big stash of Tamiya that I eventually gave away, but some of those paints I had since like the 1980s.
Yeah.
And they were still spot on.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Tamiya paints in my paint rack there that I've had 10, 15 years, mate. And I'll give them a shake up if they need a little bit of a kicker. Then they just get a bit of, what's his name?
Yeah,
X20.
X20A or even just IPA. In at pinch will work. But yeah, lasts for years.
Absolutely, mate.
As long as they've been sealed.
Yes.
Closed properly. Although the only downside to old Tamiya paints is you may have to use some sort of industrial gripping thing to actually get the lid off.
Yeah, I've got one of them rubber lid things, you know.
Yeah, I've got like the little metal thing which got different shaped grippy things that just grips.
Yeah.
Because if they've been used a bit and then they've been painting the thread and they've put it on, it could just become solid and you have to...
Yeah, it could also boil some water in a cup and just stand the pot in there.
Yeah. I think that's going to do for that.
I've got the little Tamiya jar lid thing and handy little gadget we have, mate.
You're a jar lid.
Absolutely. Jar lid. See what I did?
Oh, shut up. I'm not even listening to that.
That's your punishment for mocking me.
Tart. I mock nothing.
Okay.
I shall do the Skaven Black Dinge dry brushing. Use a different brush because that one's wet now.
Oh, a bit of Skaven Blight Dinge.
Yeah. I like to use more than one brush because then while one's wet and drying off, I can use a totally different brush.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the colour I used was I can't actually remember. I think it was Skaven Blight Dinge. We're going to find out.
Yeah. No idea, Atto. Doesn't ring a bell to me, mate. Have it done. See what it is. Let us all know.
Right. Let's find out what this grey looks like. This is this even the right? Have I got the right one? Skaven Blight Dinge. Yes, that is the right grey.
Can't be a bit of Skaven Blight Dinge, mate.
Let's get dingy.
See what you did. I saw what you did.
Halfway to hitchin, it's hitchin, I'm missing. Not a lot of Skaven Blight Dinge in this pot of Skaven Blight Dinge. I fear we may have to get a different pot of Skaven Blight Dinge. Oh.
Jeff says he's got some Citadel paints that are like 20 years old and are still good. Yeah, I've got a couple of, wherever they are, really old Citadel pots. He says,
The little hex pots, the little hex lid pots.
Yeah, he says looking for them in this paint rack of, yeah. Oh, around. Oh, there they are, right next to them. There you go. Them ones.
Yep, the old school one.
Skull White.
Oh yeah, somebody sent me a load of paints, and in some of the old hex lids ones, and some of them were just like dried up and gone. You couldn't use them, but some of them were still in perfect working order. It's like wow, and they're like 20 odd years old.
I think Lex has got some that are in glass bottles, really yonks old. But
Glass bottle glass.
see what we did there.
See what I did there? Jinx. Ha! I win.
You're made of jinx.
Now the downside to doing this with Skaven Blight Dinge is that, like, the Xandri Dust with Agrax on top is noticeably darker than Xandri Dust without. But Skaven Blight Dinge with Agrax on top is not that much darker than just Skaven Blight Dinge, so it's not as big a contrast. But that's where the highlights, the second layer, will come in and make it a bit more contrasty.
Get your contrast here. Free for £1.
All right, freight for I paint.
There you go. All right, so that's a few of them on there. Let's have one in that corner. There you go.
We should start a market store where all we sell is anything that we can sell to you for £1 in units of 3.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, it's the 33 and a third pence shop.
I see what you did
You just
there.
get 3 of them. You just get 3 of them. You see what I did there? I did maths. That was maths.
Yeah, you did in your head Fox maths. I'm so proud of you, mate.
I need to sit down for a bit now.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I think you're going to need to there, mate.
Sit down on a cup of tea.
Right, so we got that on there. Let's put that one on there. See what I did. Put that on there, I did. Notice, though, the more we concentrate, or the more I concentrate, the whisper mode comes in. It's like...
Yeah, the little muttering like I'm just doing there. Put that on there. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I go into Bob Ross whisper mode. So apologies, it's not my audio, it's just me.
This is the only downside when you're doing live stream painting. When you get to these kind of things where it's just little fiddly things like, dry brushing or paint chipping. It's just sitting there sticking your tongue out where you'd normally be listening to something in the background and just turning your mind off. It doesn't make for the best viewing because we can't really...
Yeah, normally I would have the Metallica going in my ear holes whilst I'm doing this sort of thing. But...
Or, some good music of some sort, depending on your preference. But it's not ideal for sitting there. Like when we're building, we can sit and natter to the audience and everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
When we're doing this, it's like, it's not that easy.
Well, you don't do bad, though, considering.
Yeah.
Really, when you think of it. Knowing what us two are like when we paint, normally we want utter silence and focus. And yet, when we're doing lives, we are gooning around, and yet we're still... Yeah. But this is why our live work, you could probably look at what we've painted and go, yeah, they did that on the live stream. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I struggled to do video game streams for a while, because when I play a video game, I'm just silent. I'm just sitting there. I'm so absorbed in the game. I'm sitting there with my gob wide open.
Yeah.
If you ever watch me play a video game and I'm just quietly, it's like I've sat there, eyes wide, gob wide open, because I'm completely absorbed in it.
Yeah.
Like some kind of gormless idiot.
Yeah.
And so then having to be able to play a video game and talk to the audience at the same time is like, it's not that easy. Right, so there's not a real big difference with this Skaven Blight Dinge compared to the dirty version, but it's still worth doing it.
Oh yeah,
because it's incremental, and it will add up in the end to the final effect.
Still a stage of the paint job that's worth doing, mate, because if you don't, you'll notice that you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if I don't do it, then I'll just have like a dirty Skaven Blight Dinge and then a secondary highlight colour, and the contrast will be too much. This way, at least I can... It also helps me get rid of some of the like oil staining and like coffee staining that the Agrax puts in.
Yeah.
So that the centre of the dark grey panels is nice and smooth for when the other colours go on top. Otherwise, you get that kind of coffee staining effect from the Agrax or fake Agrax. But it means I can whiz through the Skaven Blight Dinge a bit faster, because it's not quite as visible. Right, so that is the first couple of colours on the turret done. I think I need to get some more Skaven Blight Dinge. That's not really...
It's not dingy enough, no?
It's not full enough. It's dregs. And we've got another pot right there, right next to it. Oh yeah, right next to it. Skaven Blight Dinge. There you go. Hey! That's an old one. That's an old one. That's a new one. Oh, it's got a little bit of paint left in it, so I'm not going to throw it away.
Oh no.
But listen to the sloppy noise.
Yeah.
That's the noise you want to hear. Right, so that is one coat, one initial dry brush stage, and I'll just put it next to I'll put it on the tank. So you see, that's what the tank looked like before.
Do you want me to bung your full screen?
Yeah, you can do. I know it requires fiddliness, doesn't it?
Oh no, that's on StreamYard, isn't it? Helps. Yeah. Right. Well, I'm just trying to do it with a paintbrush, mate, in me hand. So yeah.
You don't have to, mate. If it's gonna
there you go. Do it that way.
Okay. So yeah. So that's what the tank looks like with the wash, and you've got your sponsors and things. But then, and this is only the first coat. It probably won't even come out on camera, but I hope you can see. If I put that on there now, it's lightened it up.
Yeah.
But it's just got the contrast where the rivets and things are.
Yeah.
So if you look on that side there, you've got the light. The panels are lighter, and it's almost like I've gone round and done a pin wash.
Yeah.
You could just go round and do a pin wash, but you'd miss out on things like the shade between all these hinges and stuff. And it's another way. You could just go around and do a pin wash, Games Workshop style, but it's a little less controlled. This way you can choose where you want the highlights to be. I'm going to go and do a second highlight coat though. Because I need more control. I use a slightly lighter colour, but you can maybe see there a difference between that side panel. Just a little bit.
Happy days, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to do the second coat yet. I'll go and get all the stuff done with the first run through. I don't know what the second coat colour will be. Don't know yet. Maybe Rakarth Flesh. That might be a bit too bright. I don't know. I shall have a swig of water though.
Yeah, I keep meaning to have a swig of tea. I should do it in a sec.
Jeff Light says, "Who turned out the lights?"
Yeah, that was me trying to do full screen on an overlay that doesn't do full screen.
All right. I couldn't see that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's, because we've changed the artwork since.
Lee Eagle says, "I'm doing cocktail stick painting on my 1/8 R34 GTR Dash."
Oh, nice.
Is that to paint all the little lights and buttons and things?
Yeah. Yeah, all the switches and nobularities. Yeah.
Nobularity?
Yeah. Yeah, I just realised I didn't need to go full screen because we're on the bigly screens now anyway. So it's like...
That's true. That's true. Well, you know, we learn by doing.
Absolutely.
I've got 2 sponsons and a little tiny turret to do.
You're made of sponsons.
Sponsons! I'll do the little turret first. I don't know how far I'll get on tonight's stream, but...
No, I'm just plodding along quite happily in my own little world.
Plodding along on the crest of a wave. See what I did there?
I did. That was where I was going. I was going along there next.
I know all the southern songs. I don't know why that one. I'll shut up.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got no idea what you're on about. I zoned out there.
I'll steer the conversation away.
Yeah. He was on a ramble there, and as soon as it goes southern, it's like, yeah. Bless him.
That one, I think. I'm further away with the camera tonight, but it's easier that way.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I tend to go out of shot less. Okay, let's get this one.
Oh, I'm terrible at going out of shot, but I try not to. But
yeah,
it's easier with something Lehman Russ size. But when you start getting into Bane blades and stompers and things, it's
bigliness.
Yeah, it can be a problem. I've got that with the Warlick. You know, it's like trying to keep that on shot.
I don't even know how you're going to film that, buddy.
No, it's going to be a challenge, isn't it?
It's like, what was the hardest thing about painting this model? Well, the first hardest thing was painting it. The second hardest thing was cinematography, because
it's going to be a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but you know what? You're a challenge.
Absolutely. I like being made of challenges.
H would not deny.
Do I need any more of those? I'm quite happy with that. The brush
quite happy with that, Cole?
Yeah. Let the brush out of thing, because I've got to do a couple on the turret. Yeah. So let's just swap that round. And we'll bring it onto the screen in a minute.
You're still doing your shadow triangles?
Pardon me, yes, mate.
Excuse you.
Yes, I am, mate. Yeah.
Hair on my brush. Shadow triangles.
Yeah, just doing it's like basically 3 colours overlapping slightly, but the darker colour I'm using at the moment, the Fang, I'm using quite sparingly because I don't want to overdo it.
Are you doing like a glaze as well or something? Just to...
Yeah, it's just I'm just block filling it for the moment. But
block filling. Tetris.
Yeah.
Painting Tetris.
Painted Tetris because we can.
Painting along on the crest. Never mind.
He's been on the Red Bull tonight, folks, isn't he?
Ew, don't put me on the Red Bull. It never ends well.
Yeah.
Me and Taurine, we're not in a good relationship.
Yeah, it's something I don't drink, that sort of thing.
No. I don't like any drinks because they always taste the same. They always have that taurine taste. They always just taste the same. Like, you know what? Just give me a coffee in the morning. I'll be awake.
Yeah. See, I don't even drink coffee. I cannot remember the last time I had a drink of coffee.
Is it just you don't enjoy it? You don't like it?
I don't like it. Just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. I go through phases where I really like tea.
Yeah.
And then I remember that I can't drink tea when it goes cold. So then I get sad and have to have coffee because I can drink that for hours.
Yeah, but I have thermal cups. So, yeah. I'm a Londoner, and you don't have a cold kettle in a Londoner's house. Should we say?
That's true. That's true.
But, yeah, coffee, I'm not a fan. Whereas H, yeah, she's coffee mad, mate.
The other thing for me is as well that if you have a bite of a chocolate digestive or a hobnob and then a swig of coffee, it's the best taste in the world.
Yeah.
But if you have like a bite of a chocolate digestive or hobnob and then a swig of tea, it's not the same. Tea doesn't work the same with chocolate as coffee. To me, anyway. They're not as complimentary. I do like tea, though.
Yeah, like I say, it's each to their own, isn't it? You know, it's some people swear by their coffee, but
are you hooked on the Barry's tea now, though?
I drink all different teas, mate.
Oh.
So, yeah, you know, sometimes it's Barry, sometimes it's Yorkshire, sometimes it's Typhoo, sometimes it's PG
Yorkshire tea.
Tips.
Oh, Typhoo. Oh,
You know, it depends. Depends on what is there.
Oh.
But, yeah, I don't always stick to one brand. I like a bit of variety. I have the occasional Earl Grey. Just so that I can say Earl Grey hot.
I see what you did there. I think it was only when I discovered Barry's tea that I actually enjoyed drinking tea. I think until then, every other tea had just been like horrible for me. I'm like, ew, Barry, you know, PG and Typhoon, ugh. But then I got Barry's and I'm like, oh, you know, actually, this is actually quite nice. I could drink this.
Yeah, but you're one of those. You like something, everyone else has got to like it, and it's like, yeah, I like a bit of variety.
No, it's not so much that. I think when I find something I like to let other people learn
Absolutely.
about it. I like to spread the word so they can enjoy
like,
things.
You should only drink Barry's tea. No, I can choose for myself, dear.
You can, as long as it's Barry's that you choose, you'll be fine.
Like I say, I like a bit of choice.
Yeah, you can have Barry's Gold, Barry's Red.
Ease off. This is how it starts, folks.
I like to play to my character.
Absolutely. I go into defiant mode when you're like that. It's like, yeah. Yes. You probably noticed.
Yes. If I was clever, I'd use reverse psychology and say, you should drink all the different kinds of tea, not just Barry's.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, no, because you said that, I'm going to drink only Barry's. And I'd be like, my work here is done.
Absolutely. H knows if she doesn't want me to do something, suggest I do it.
Yeah.
What concentration, eh?
Cold coffee is palatable, but cold tea, leave it out, yuck, says Jeff Light.
Yeah.
That brought the gang show to mind, a real blast from the past.
Yeah.
And Lee Eagle says, yeah, that's it, Fox. Back to the little details and lights and bits and bobs. For some reason, I found when I was painting like little tiny lights on things like the Millennium Falcon dashboards, or instrument panels, I found the cocktail stick was perfect for that, but using oil paint.
Yeah.
For some reason, oil paint always formed a nice dot, whereas like acrylics and enamels never did.
Yeah, oil paint is brilliant for that sort of thing.
Unfortunately, because it's just neat from the tube, it takes like approximately 1,000 years to properly dry, so you can't touch it.
Yeah, I tend to leach it on a bit of cardboard, but yeah, certainly for, like, say, your motorcycle switches and things like that, yeah, it's perfect for that.
Because I think it's just because it's so stodgy and thick, and it's not like... Yeah.
It's been a while since I've used oils, to be honest with you. I need to get back into it.
The other thing, of course, is when you're using a cocktail stick, trying to aim onto the actual thing you're trying to put the dot of paint on. If you miss with an acrylic, that's it, you're screwed. You've got to repaint the dashboard.
Yeah, with mine, it looked like a woodpecker's tried to do it because, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I did a dot filter, I just didn't do anything after putting the dots on, you know.
Yeah, but if you want a dot filter doing, I'm the man to come and ask because...
Or chipping.
Yeah, because, you know, I've got that randomness where if I'm trying to do that, it's just like, it's like a little woodpecker's done it. It's like, you've got a really nice effect, and it's like, yeah, it wasn't intentional.
The best crazy paving paint job ever.
Yeah. Absolutely. It comes in handy for some things like that, I must admit.
Yeah.
But on this paint job, trying to get perfectly straight lines is a nightmare. That's where the weathering's going to come into it.
Yeah.
And chipping and all of that lot, because it will hide a lot of my wonkiness.
Chipping all the paint away.
I heard the distinct sound of photography then.
Yes, I was taking a photograph. I'll take a few before and after pictures so I can get James mate to put them up on the page.
Oh, right, yeah. See, that's my biggest thing. I never take pictures, though. I'm useless. He'll say, dude, can you send a picture of your Baneblade through so that folks can actually see what you've done? All right, then.
Oh, okay.
Well, if I must.
Bless you.
I know. I'm useless, mate, did I? He did it to me last week. You went, dude. I went, what? Since that time of night, have you taking a photograph. Oh, do I have to? I don't want to.
You love it.
I did in the end. It was like, yeah, he's not going to leave me alone.
Nope. It's for your own good.
So I'll go back out in the man cave then. Yeah, good man. You should have done it before you left. Damn it.
Yeah. There you go. See? Lesson learned. No, not lesson learned at all.
No. Because it'll be the same when we come off air. It'll be, dude. Yeah.
The one thing you can say about Colin is never lesson learned.
I think if I don't do it, he would have forgotten. No. Like that's going to happen.
See, I've learned that the only way to motivate Colin to do something is just to moan enough that he just thinks, I'm going to just do it just to stop him moaning. It's a very powerful tool.
Oh, yeah.
You may think it's not very nice to moan so much that somebody goes, oh, God, I'll just do it then. All right. But it's like, you just have to do it with Colin.
Yeah, I need it because I am stubborn.
Doesn't matter. You can give him all kind of reasons to do something. None of them will stick. But if you just get on his nerves enough, he'll do it.
Yeah. I sit there and go, oh, I'm going to do it just to shut the hole under his nose because he's getting on my nerves. And he's like, my work is done.
My work here is, who was that masked man?
Yeah, it's like he's done it to me again.
Curses.
Yeah. Damn it. Where's Zorro when you need him?
Yeah. Curses to you and your sudden and unexpected yet inevitable betrayal.
Absolutely. I've just realised I've got a Pim's pinky going on at the moment.
Ooh, I just noticed that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm sitting there giggling to myself and I'm like, oh my God, look at me with me Pim's and cucumber sandwiches pinky.
Very very civilised.
Oh, would you like some Earl Grey? Oh, I love some Earl Grey. Thank you very much.
It's because you mentioned Earl Grey and it got you into posh mode.
Yeah, Earl Grey with H. Go. So a bit of that going on, bit of that, bit of that, bit of that. Oh, what need one there?
A little bit of that.
It's almost going to be a shame to dirty it up, but it needs it.
Yeah, because
can't have it. Grit. Yeah, can't have it clean. Bloody hell!
Because it's a 1,000-year-old tank.
No such thing as a clean tank round here.
Nah. I'll tell you what I've noticed with some not satisfaction, but like gives me some comfort. Mm-hmm. Especially with current events at the minute, you're seeing a lot of footage of like armored vehicles and tanks and things.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons. But what's really getting my attention is the fact that, given the fact that these vehicles are in like fields and mud and everything else. When you see them, they look like, especially like, say, German vehicles with that NATO black and brown and green colour scheme.
Yeah.
They look like it looks like a model that's been weathered by a Tamiya box art modeler where it's just got a very light dusting of buff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's just got that light dusting of buff. And then it's like, that's what they actually have to like time in the fields. And it's like, okay, that saves me a lot of weathering. I don't have to put like an inch of mud on everything. I could just do a spray of buff. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. Yeah. Some of the stuff you see on the telly, you're like, instant. Like, especially, you see some of like the Marders and the Gepards and things, and they've got that NATO colouring, before they're sent away. And they look like Revell box art or Tamiya because they've just got that slight dusting of buff. Yeah, if you see some troops now walking around in shiny uniforms, yeah. But I sit there and I thought the other day, you know what? I take the mickey out of the Revell box art model makers because their paint job's usually terrible. Can't really knock any European vehicles now because they're kind of spot on. Yeah. They've got an easy job with European stuff because they just... It's only since this event has been going on that I've noticed that, and it's like, Yeah, it's just like, that's kind of a realistic. They can go out and do all this stuff, and they only come back with this light dusting. So all them years we've been, how can we say, knocking it, and it's like, kind of does look like that. And I suppose eventually, if you're out there for long enough, they would come back with mud and crust and ming and But for the kind of things that drive out and sit there and don't do anything like that, so it's like, okay, I take it back. Like look at any Revell kit of like current day German armour. Yeah. Like I say, the Gepard or the the Fuchs armoured car, and anything like that, especially in NATO camouflage, green, red, brown, and black.
Yeah.
It cannot what they look like. I shall not mock them again.
No. Totally get it, though. I would have thought there would have been more kit releases going on now from the manufacturers, considering that this has been going on nearly 2 years. I would have thought there would have been a lot of emphasis on some armour, but there hasn't been, has there?
It's probably because I think a lot of the current armour that's seeing use in theatre is actually already in kit form. Yeah. There's nothing new out there.
Yeah, unless it would be seen as being in poor taste. I don't know, but...
No, well, I mean, there's some kits out there that are relevant. I mean, obviously, Tammy has done the Leopard 2.
Yeah, that's a point, yeah.
They've released a specific, and it's just the normal Leopard 2 with an extra decal, I think. But
yeah, I've got one of the aircraft, haven't I, that...
was doing... What are they called? The Ukrainian company.
Zvezda? No.
No, not Festa.
no, that's the other one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
KP Models.
MB. No. Not many art. Oh, God, I forgot the name. Somebody in chat tell us that.
Yeah.
You know the one. Anyway, yeah. So I think a lot of this is just because it's existing technology. Existing that they've already got lots of kits of. I think. We'll probably see a lot more theatre-specific kits coming out in the future, just maybe not at the moment, say for 1 or 2.
Well, yeah, it's too fresh, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. ICM, that's the one. Thank you.
Cheers for that, Bobbins, because, we was having a blonde moment.
I was having a brain fart moment.
Considering we've both got ICM kits and we both built ICM kits, it's like, yeah. I do like a good old swizzle in the water there.
You do like to beat the devil out of it, don't you?
Yeah. See what he did there.
Did you see what I did there?
Creepy Bob Roslov, take note. Right.
Have you got a squirrel in your pocket?
Post it, Colin, quick. There you go.
I want to know what happened to Peapod the squirrel.
What do you reckon on that? See what I've done? Just a few random dark ones going in opposing directions.
I love the way it makes the triangles look like the shading on them, even though there's clearly not. It's just 2 different coloured triangles, but the eye blends it all together into one.
Well, there's 3 different shades of triangles there. If you look at the base, then you've got one going the opposite way, and then you've got another one going the opposite way again. So it's just getting it. But from the obligatory 1 metre away, it's like it looks decent, but. Don't get too close. If you see this in the shop, folks, don't look too closely.
It'll be behind glass in a poorly lit cabinet, so it'll be good.
But that's kind of where I want to go with it. Now, I was going to do black at one point, but I think it would have been too stark, so I used the Fang instead.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that, because when you said about black, and I was like, it is an urban camo colour, but I think on that it's a subtle colour grade. It's not like it's not that kind of contrasty, is it? The black.
No, that's it. Urban camo's normally 2 shades of grey with a black randomised, but I just thought black would be too stark, so I tested the Fang and I thought, I'll use that as my darkest grey, and I'm glad I did, to be honest with you.
Yep, so am I.
There you go. Cool. Needed that swig of tea. Oh.
I suppose. Could you go for a bluey, a darker bluey, or do you think it not need it? Or if you were going to add more colours, what would you add? Do you think?
I don't know at the moment. I really don't know, because I wanted to do 4 colours, but I don't know what the 4th one, whether to go a bluier blue or a darker grey. I don't know. I don't want to. So I'm not 100% sure at the moment.
Because that's kind of a wintry urban camo. It's like a mix of urban camo and winter.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the Fang. I could go darker with something like Storm Vermin Fur, but that's so grey. It's,
Yeah, it's the other way.
you know, that's gone the other way. So the only other lighter ones I've got are going down from Rishon. It's like your Dawnstones, Warp Themed Grey.
I don't know what if it needs another colour. If you're doing one, what colour?
Yeah, you know, I've got that sort of, but I just don't think that is. Yeah, it's just not the same range, is it?
No.
You know, I've got an in between, which is Dark Reaper, but even so, that's again. Yeah.
I mean, that would kind of fit with the scheme. I don't know if it needs it. I don't know if it
exactly. So I might just park that for the moment, and yeah.
The funny thing is, when you're thinking about camo schemes, you're trying to make one up.
Yes.
You think it's really easy, but then if you think about it logically, if you in your brain came up with the Corn to camo scheme, which you see on Matilda tanks, which is the green, the sand colour, and the bluey grey. There's no way you'd ever think of that as a valid colour scheme. You'd be like, that's a stupid set of colours. I can't do that on a tank. But when you see the Corn to camo scheme, it's really pleasing.
Absolutely.
But you'd never come up with that combination on your own because you'd be like, what, grey? Sand? What? Green? So it's really difficult coming up with valid colour schemes. I think that'll be a sit and think about it for you for a while, won't it, for that one? I don't know if
yeah, Jeff's saying that camouflage scheme is growing on him. Oh, nice to know, Jeff. Nice to know, mate. It's just different, isn't it?
I mean, I could see somebody saying, well, it might benefit from a darker tone to give it the extra bit of depth and contrast. But yeah, but you've got weathering and pin washes and things to come that are going to bring out all the embossed detail. That's going to give it some depth and stuff. That might give the darkness you want. So I don't really know if it needs anything else. I think it's a really pleasing little scheme. I think it's quite good colour scheme.
Yeah, I'm glad I persevered with it, because at one point I was a little bit, but I wanted to flip the triangles around so you would have like one going from the right side, one going from the left, then flip it around so that you had just that contrast, and it just seems to. It's almost like shadows hitting it in certain areas, and it's refracting on light. Or is that a word? But yeah.
It's like dazzle camouflage. The idea is to break up any, to make the eye not really see any shapes and patterns. It's just different triangle directions means your brain's going, hang on, that's going up or is it going down? I'm not sure. Is that a corner or not? That's the whole point of dazzle, is to
absolutely
break up the shape. Although it's like you said before, though, if we're thinking logically, is it really worth putting any camouflage on something the size of a Baneblade? Can you really camouflage something the size of an office building?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yes, this Baneblade can now not be seen in a forest. It's taller than all the trees. Yes, but it still can't be seen. I'm not going to mistake it for a gazelle.
Yeah, we do that to ourselves, don't we? And it's like,
got a job once in a camouflaged office. Never found it.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? I just made that up in my brain.
Lee says, does different parts or paint make the cracking effects once you paint an already painted part? I've got chipping fluid under this, mate. So hopefully once I start going over that with a bit of moisture, it should start bringing out some of the underlying rust coat. That's the plan.
Yes.
It could all end badly, but we'll see.
Unless it means if different types of paint, is that, if you mean does painting different types of paint over each other, I don't, because he was asking earlier on, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, lacquers over acrylics and acrylics,
yeah, never excuse me, never mix and match your paints. If you paint, you can paint acrylics over acrylics, you can paint
anything
enamels
over lacquer, nothing over acrylic, isn't it?
Yeah, basically acrylics on top of acrylics is fine, enamels on top of enamels is fine, lacquers on top of lacquers. Although it's one of those things that's really easy, but I always forget. Basically, if you put a lacquer on top of anything, it'll heat up, it'll chemically liquefy that paint, and it'll
It's
bleed
a
through.
hot paint. You can paint any cold paint over a hot paint, but you can't paint a hot paint over a cold paint.
You can paint anything on top of a lacquer because the lacquer's hardcore. That's why a lot of primers are actually lacquers. Like the Citadel rattle cans, they're not really primers, but they're lacquer paint, so they're fairly durable. But yeah, no, you wouldn't paint. So I mean, you can like enamel. It gets difficult when you get to weathering though, because you can do enamel weathering directly on top of acrylics as long as the acrylics are dry and cured, and it won't affect the acrylics because the thinners in enamels and oils don't react with the acrylics. But when you're actually for painting, just stick to one paint type if you can. Because with weathering, you're not putting big, thick coats of paint on. You're doing like washes and glazes. So it's all right.
Atol's in agreement. He says, looking good as it is, mate, he would just weather it. Yeah, it's one of them. Sometimes less is more, mate, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know what I have got to do, though. I've got to just do me turrets, haven't I? Because I haven't done them with the multi-tone. They're only one colour.
I know what you've got to do. You know what you've got to do?
What?
You've got to go like this.
No, I haven't.
Go on, you know you want to.
No,
Secretly.
I don't. No, I don't.
Secretly you do. Secretly.
You know I don't.
I know you're a secret lemonade drinker.
Absolutely. So it's handy having them inside there because you don't lose them, do you, Cole?
Go on, tell the good people.
Oh, they've already been told, mate.
Oh, have they? Okay.
Yeah, I told them when you went out, mate, because it was easier. That way you wouldn't mock me as much.
Convenient storage location. Where is it? I don't know. I've forgotten.
Yeah. Lee says I put zero top paint on top of normal. Yeah, I've sprayed zero paints over UMP primer before, but I let my primers dry for 48 hours anyway. But normally when I use lacquer paint now, I use a lacquer paint primer.
Yeah.
Just so that I don't forget myself.
No. I mean, there's always the possibility that if you're airbrushing, say, lacquers on top of non-lacquers, if you're building the colour up in a very thin, misty coat and it's going onto the model basically dry, which is what, when you aerosolise the lacquer paint, you might get away with that because by that point, the paint's kind of, by the time it hits the model, it's dried out, it's mostly cured. Just not enough off cured to stick to the model. And it might not be do any more reacting. So airbrushing you might get away with, but it's more good practice to try and avoid it just in case.
Absolutely.
Like if you brush painted lacquers onto acrylics, they'd just all fall apart and everything would die. But if you're airbrushing, you're doing misty coats, you might get away with it. But it's more just a case of, try not to, just because it's the risk. It might be all right. You might get away with it.
Yeah, but there's always the chance that you won't.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the risk. Oh, don't want to do that. Beep, beep, beep.
Athol's off. He says, that's me, showering in bed. See you next time, guys and girls. See you later, mate.
See, I thought.
And Lee says he's hand brushing to you.
Yeah, okay. That's when you might run into issues. Because it's thick enough that when the paint goes on, it's still hot and active.
Yeah.
So it's more just a lesson learned, that one, isn't it? It might be absolutely fine. You might get away with it, but I wouldn't do it again, just to be safe.
If in doubt, don't, innit? I mean, I have my lacquer paints in a separate rack to me acrylics purely and simply that way. I can't mix them up when I'm doing a paint job, Yeah. Normally, if I'm spraying or doing a build, I will get out all the paints for that build together, ready. So I know that's all lacquers or it's an all acrylic paint job, and that's it then.
Yep.
And I won't add anything to the bench until that paint job's finished because any shiny cars or bikes, they're all lacquers, armour and all of that is acrylics. So
yeah. I mean, I did, as an example, I can't remember which Gundam it was now, but I did a Gundam kit and I used UMP black primer on some parts of the inner frame. And then I used Mr. Metal Colour, which is a buffable paint.
Yeah.
I sprayed that on with an airbrush, and that's a lacquer, and it's buffable. So you spray it on, you give it like half an hour, then you buff it back, and it comes up nice and shiny. That was fine.
Yeah.
But it was going onto an acrylic primer, or a polyurethane or acrylic primer, non-lacquer primer.
Yeah.
But I sprayed it on in such a thin, misty coat to get the buffing effect that it wasn't active when it hit the primer, so it was absolutely fine. And the primer had been sat for a few days.
Yeah.
So I kind of got away with it. But there's always the chance it might, in years to come, it might suddenly go, hello, I've messed up your primer.
Absolutely. And don't forget as well, with decal solutions, you've got to be careful as well, because some decal solutions can react.
Yes.
So, yeah. Seen that before, where people have put a clear coat over something, and the decal solution has perhaps pulled in an area and it'll just crack the paint.
Yep, I did that. In large amounts, microset and sol can burn through bleach.
So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, I did some washes and got these big tide marks where the sort of the rough edge was from the.
Yeah, I've seen it. Proper run marks where the decal solution has pulled, and
Yeah. So it's always best to be very careful with your decal solutions. Don't go slapping them everywhere.
You don't want to slap it on, do you?
No, or as Chris would say, slap it in. So after that, what I did was I made sure the decal solution was pretty much over the decal and just round the edges of it, and that was about it. Didn't go slathering it everywhere.
It's happened to us all. We've all, we've all done it. Yeah. We've all learnt from our mistakes. And, I've done some classic boo-boos like that in me time.
Oh, yeah.
I've had it before where I've picked up a paint thinking it was an acrylic, and it's been a lacquer, and it's too late. I've already got it in the airbrush and I'm spraying it, and then you get a waft. And you're like,
oh
no, I've just gone over that with a lacquer, you pillar, Wilkinson.
I mean, nothing beats TK putting decals on his dirty great big SR71 Blackbird.
Yeah.
And wondering why the decal solution was messing up the decals and the paint, and then realising that it was airbrush cleaner.
Yeah.
Because both bottles were unclearly labelled and they both looked the same. He's like, oh, that's not a decal solution. Oh.
Yeah.
But no, there's lots of the thing about this with this hobby is that there's lots of things where we can say, well, obviously you don't do X, Y, or Z, but really, somebody will say, but it's like, you know what? It's not obvious if you've never been told.
Absolutely, not everyone knows because, like you say, you've got people that are fresh to the hobby.
Yeah, I didn't know about mixing and matching paints until I read about it or somebody told me about it.
Yeah.
So it's it may bite you in the ass right now on this particular build, but you won't make that mistake again. And you'll know for the future now.
But the thing about it is, as well, I'm lucky. I habitually scan my decals when I get the build, so that if I do have a paint problem where I have to detal the kit, I've got a scanned copy of the decals that I can reprint, and I can just repaint it. And that's the thing, you may think it's the end of the world and you've ruined your model. But take the emotion out of it, give it 24 hours, bung it in some detal and start again, folks.
Yeah. And at the very, very worst, if it's not recoverable, let's say it's like a really complicated kit and you can't just strip it down because, whatever. At the end of the day, it's just a plastic model. It's a bit of money. It might not be necessarily cheap, but it's not like you've just, driven your car into a telephone pole and written off 50 grand.
Yeah.
The worst comes to the worst. You've learned a lesson. You've got a test pig.
Yeah, and it can become a junker for a diorama, an abandoned vehicle that you weather up. There's always options, folks.
You can do something with it. At the end of the day, a couple of weeks down the line, you'll have a different model kit. You'll have learnt a lesson, and you'll be enjoying that particular kit. And let's not forget, of course, the majority of the time we make a model, we take our time with it, we put pride into it, we're proud of it, we put it on a shelf and forget it even exists.
Yeah. So I did a classic one not so long ago. I got the clear coat out, thought, I'll clear my car. And I got the first layer of clear down, and then I looked and thought, I didn't wet sand the paint, so you could see the orange peel.
Yeah.
And it was like, Wilkinson, you lemon. You were supposed to be wet sanding that today, not clear coating it. But then,
soft.
It's too late then, isn't it? You just go, no, well.
It's like, soft focus is your friend.
Absolutely. It's like, 4 or 5 coats of clear later, and it's, let's just try to polish it as best you can and put it on the back of the shelf.
And the good thing with doing like YouTube or doing any kind of social media where you put pictures up of your work is, if there's a bit on a kit that doesn't quite come out right, like you on one part of your kit you've got this really dirty great thumbprint that you didn't realise it was too late, or you've messed up the paint job.
You photograph the other side.
Yeah, you photograph the other side. You make sure all your pictures don't show that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to give examples. I'm sure I can't even remember, but I'm sure there's examples in my gallery of like.
I know one because you mentioned it, didn't you?
I can't remember which one it was now, but there's ones where you'll if you think about it, you realise on some of them you don't see a specific part of them. It's like, oh, there's no picture covering this bit. It's like, yeah, because I probably screwed it up and I didn't want to tell anyone. Shh.
Yeah, well, we've all done it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with goofing. At the end of the day, it's nice when things go according to plan, but sometimes they get messed up. But you know what? It's just a plastic.
Yeah, it's no different than photoshopping something out with with the airbrush, is it? You know what I mean? It's just like.
It'd be nice if there was such a, Control Z in real life, but there isn't. But at the end of the day, it's not stopping you put food on your table or pay your bills. So it's just a bit of fun. So if it goes wrong, just go, oh gosh.
Yeah, it can be frustrating at first, but like I said earlier, put it back on the shelf, take the emotion out of it, sleep on it, and then come back the following day, and you'll find it's redeemable.
Yep. And your idea of like a junker thing it's a great idea. I've done that myself. You put it on the shelf and it might be 6 months later you think, I've got this car that I made a mess of. You know what? Let's strip it down, paint it rust colours, squish it, and have it in the background in a junk scene and put a nice shiny car in front of it. Yeah. Or something like that. There's always something you can do with it. Or if you're Colin, just hack it into little pieces and make something else out of it.
Yeah, there is that and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a greeble fest, doesn't it?
Yep. Festa's favourite film, a turret runs through it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I do like a turret. You might have noticed.
You like a nice bit of turret action, don't you?
Yeah, it's like the Bluey car, and it's like, it needs more guns, doesn't it? Like, yeah, it's got, got a 2-foot turret on its roof, but it's still needing more guns.
More guns.
I'm amazed how restrained I've actually been with this one, because there's not 50 million turrets, is there, mate?
No. Well,
you are impressed, aren't you?
Well, let me add the caveat, yet. Because I know the building process in 2 ways. One, you'll have ideas. Because you'll be sitting there thinking about it in your off time.
Yeah.
And 2, you forget I'm part of the equation, so I'll have dumbass ideas as well.
Yeah.
And I won't hesitate to say, you know what you should do?
Yeah, you know what it needs, Carl.
And you'll be like, oh, I've got to put it away. Oh. So, yes. Hey, you know what? I think I'm going to finish all my little extra bits before the end of the stream.
Oh, I'll be impressed, mate. I'm
just doing the Skaven Blight dinge now.
I don't even know what the time is. Oh, 5 to 11. We've done well.
Yeah, so I think
apart from that, going for a bit if you want. I don't mind. I've only got a couple of bits left to paint. It's up to you, mate.
Yeah, I'm easy. I need to go and look after my morph at some point, but for a bit.
What's that? What do you reckon? 15:15?
Yeah.
Is that enough? Is that enough for you?
Yeah, I'll do it for me.
What are you doing?
It's been a good. Oh, I've pretty much finished it now.
Right, no worries. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of chat dollying on that before we go, and then we'll wrap up. I didn't even realise what time was. I kind of lost track.
No, I thought this was going to take a lot longer than it did, but these sponsons and stuff, they're actually really, really quick to do because they're small. So I've still got the entire hull to do. All right. Somebody needs to do a hull, I suppose. But, that won't take that long. And I've got the secondary colours to do as well, so...
Why did that sound brummy?
Well, I don't know. All right. I can't, because I try and do a whole accent. I come out like a Brummy accent. All right. Hull's like Barrow and Birmingham mixed. And my sister-in-law is from Barrow and I'm from Hull, and I just can't quite get the accent. It's a bit like Bolton, Barrow and Birmingham all combined together.
Ted would be good at that then.
No, that just sounds Welsh.
Mind you, Ted's accents are legendary, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Ted's American accent.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm American. No, Ted, you're not. No, you're definitely not.
Angry Ted. That's the best Ted you could ever see. we've had the pleasure of seeing Ted having a full-blown grown-up Wibble, and it is hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I hate it when I take a photograph and it's actually vertical when it should have been horizontal.
Yeah.
It hasn't told me. There we go. Done.
Yeah, we had a real late-night hangout, didn't we, after one of the Modbert shows for the Boomer.
Oh, yeah.
And Ted come in, and let's just say the gin had been flowing.
Oh, yeah. There had been flowing of the gins.
Yeah, he was a bit bronze and list. And the Wibble that he had, we was all in tears, weren't we?
Oh, God, yeah, they've been in tears, partly because, A, our childhood opinion of him had been destroyed, and B, it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was one of them classic moments. And, yeah. And Ted always uses plausible deniability now.
Oh, yeah. No.
No, I didn't do that. Yeah, you did, Ted.
That wasn't me.
He was all there.
Right, so I have done the turret. I've done the sponsons. Luckily, I've only got 2 sponsons on this build, and I've done the little glasses plate turret and the searchlight and the aerial. So that is the first layer of Xandri Dust and Skaven Black Dinge dry brushed on to get the highlight. And again, I'll put these together so you can see the difference. I'll put them on the whole. Actually, wow, it's a massive difference if you look at this. If I put that's quite a difference actually. If I put that there, you don't need to go full screen or anything, but if I put that there,
no.
And then if I put the sponson on, it's like a completely different colour.
Looks good, mate.
Just the contrast in the sand colour. Just on that side where it's mostly sandy. That there, compared to put the sponson on there. You can see there. I don't know if you can see the colours on the screen very well.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I was trying to paint, but yeah.
No, I'm talking to the audience.
Oh, right.
As always. Yeah, you can see now you've got this is a much lighter colour, and you've got the shadowing around rivets and stuff.
Yes.
But it's compared to that, that's 2 different. And that's just a dry brush of the base coat back on top. So I'll do another one for another highlight, more subtle.
He's good, isn't
It'll
he?
be even brighter.
This is why he's a guru.
I don't know yet. Aye, shut up. If I think it needs another highlight colour, I don't know if it will. We'll see.
What would you go for if it does?
Something a bit lighter than Xandri Dust, so it would probably be...
Bala Brown?
What's Xandri Dust? No, it'd be something like... Ushabti Bone might be too different, too bright.
Oh, right, yeah, good choice, yeah.
Because I'm trying to build up the highlight, just for real subtle centre of panels. Not really Rakarth Flesh, because that would warm it up, cool it down too much. So maybe Ushabti Bone? Maybe. Oh, I prefer something between Ushabti Bone and halfway, but I don't know. If I do, we'll see. I'll see what the actual hook... Because you see, that's quite a nice, almost like desert colour scheme colour now. I could quite literally just leave that as it is and start doing chipping.
Yeah, it's looking all right, isn't it?
I'll see what the hull looks like. Because the hull at the minute, that wash gives it that kind of water-stained tide mark effect. It looks scruffy.
Yeah.
And when somebody puts that on a gaming table, you're like, do you want to finish painting your tank?
Yeah.
But when you actually finish it like that, it just looks nice and smooth now with shadowing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if they say that to you, that's when you go, yeah, do you want a dry slap?
Yeah, dry slap. To me, it's a more subtle and softer way of a version of just going around doing a pin wash with a shade, which you can do.
Yeah.
But it looks a bit less. I've got more variation to the colour. It's not just flat Xandri Dust, it's dark Xandri Dust, light Xandri Dust. And the bobbins has clearly watched Duncan's video because he says Ushabti Bone. I used to love when Duncan said Ushabti Bone. Every time he had to paint something bone coloured, I was like, yay!
When Duncan says nipple.
Nibble. Lee says, I'm scraping off the paint back to plastic now and paint the plastic in Millennium Jade paint, and my GTR cost me £2,000.
Oh.
So I need it to be perfect.
Yes.
£2,000, good God. I wouldn't scrape the paint off if you can strip it. It's a lot gentler. Wow. 1/8 scale GTR.
It's going to look mint, isn't it?
Yeah. If it's that kind of kit, then yeah, you want to make that look spot on.
Yeah.
Something that big, if there's anything wrong with the paint job, you'll see it.
Yeah, it's going to stick out like a blind cobbler's thumb, innit?
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where if Colin was doing that, he would be like minutely wet sanding the paint layers to an eggshell finish to a glass finish before we put the clear coats on and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You only forget once.
Dominic Cuckoo says, I go to bed, Colin. See you Sunday.
No worries, Dominic. Thanks for tuning in, mate. I mean, we're literally coming off air now anyway. I'm just going to have a quick shifty around before I show off what I've been up to, because I've been a bit quiet tonight. So
yeah, didn't say goodbye to me, though.
Oh, Namakins. You've not had no hugs. No one's saying goodbye to you.
I'm just chopped liver over here, aren't I?
Dude, you're not feeling loved, are you?
I'm just the comedy sidekick, mate.
Oh, well, that's stretching it a bit.
I'm on season 10 of Supernatural.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or it might be season 11 now, actually.
Goodness.
Might be season 11.
Let's get rid of all of that. Getting the Agrax in there. Right. What have we been up to? We have done 3 different colours on this. Let's just bring the webcam round so that you can see a bit better.
I do love the stripe on the glasses plate area. That's great.
Yeah, let's turn that off a sec so that it's not glaring in your face. But yeah, there you go.
I love that.
It's getting there, isn't it?
Looking rather mint, dear boy.
I'm liking that. Let's just try and get an angle.
You should be liking that. It looks good, man.
There you go. So yeah, it's subtle. He says it's had a little bit of Agrax just down the front stripe there. It'll probably have some more. But yeah, I've got my base colours down now. My subtle stripe down the middle. So yeah, I'm liking it. It's gradually growing on me now. And yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'll leave the colour scheme as is now and just look at starting the chipping and stuff like that on her.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's one of those things where, like, the first couple of steps, like we did, we're sitting there going, I don't know if it's... But even just this, like, this little subtle third step, like me doing this dry brushing or you doing your little extra bit of triangles, it just starts to come together and you start going, oh, actually, now I'm starting to make... It's starting to cohere.
I even got it on my little light as well, the different triangles, just subtly done.
Lovely.
So, yeah, I'm quite happy with how things are going. It's getting there.
It's the first.
I'll take a couple of pictures so that Fox can send it off to James, mate.
Yes. But yeah, it's the first steps at which it starts to look. You think, yeah, no, it's starting to speak to me now.
Yeah, it is. She's beginning to top now, and
yeah.
And then obviously for the top view, she's looking some of that.
Bring mine down a bit, so you see mine
there you
the
go.
side a bit.
That's what she looks like from the top. But yeah, I like that.
I do like that colour scheme you've got, that camo scheme you've got there, mate. It looks... I think I'm going to have to do that on one of mine at some point.
Yeah, you want to do one on yours now, don't you?
It's really pleasing. It's just like that white and the greys. It's just a pleasing... Because I can imagine in my head now the enamel washes and the pin washes and the streaking.
Yeah, I think at first you wasn't sure where I was going with it, but yeah. Yeah. But no, I'm happy with that. It's coming together now. Now I've got the... starting to chip and scratch it up, but all of those bits.
I won't do that ever again.
Yeah, so I was a bit worried about you there, mate. That was silver shell suit material, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit like clubby, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit, mate. That's shaved sides mullet with highlights, mate. You know what I'm saying?
Scratch my disc up.
Yeah, I know. So on that note, folks, we're going to love and leave you for the night. I'm going to go and retire to somewhere a bit cooler, and Fox is going to go and feed Mum. So hopefully you're enjoying what we're both up to there, peeps. And we will see you this time next week for another Workbench Wednesday Live.
Yeah, so we should be back on Monday as well.
Yeah, eModels Monday. Yeah, and we'll see you again on the Frolic on Friday.
Yes.
So yeah, there you go, folks.
And can I just say I didn't fall out? Woohoo!
I wasn't going to say anything until we had finished the stream, mate, but there you go.
PowerShell rules. I am a god of PowerShell. I thank you.
Absolutely. And hopefully you've enjoyed the bigger screen layout this week as well, folks. I wanted to get back to doing it, and I found another way of getting the same result using some different software. So
Yeah, more big 1080p good.
absolutely. So fingers crossed it works and you're happy with what you've seen. So we're going to go now. Take care, folks, and we'll see you on the next stream. Take care, everyone.
Adios, amigos. Bye.